What's up, everybody? Welcome to another exciting edition of This Week in the Shire. I'm your host, Tech, and this one's coming to you a little bit quicker than usual because there's some hot shit going on. And I'm not talking about the guy who killed the United Insurance CEO. I am talking about that, but just in general, shit's popping off. I got some new updates, and we're going to go through it. Let's get right into it. Last podcast, dude, I ate a couple edibles. I was rocked. I was not all there, and I apologize. It was a lackluster effort, and I'm going to bring more to the table, than that, and you guys deserve better than that. If you're going to listen, then I deserve to put a little bit more effort in than that. That was not it. So moving forward, there won't be any more of those. At least I hope not, but you never know. Either way though. So first things first, Mike Rowe was on Joe Rogan. If you don't know who Mike Rowe is, he's the host of Dirty Jobs, and I used to love that show. That was like one of my favorite shows growing up, and he was like not like a hero, but like kind of, I always thought he was hilarious, like real funny guy, and just did cool shit, like wasn't scared to get down and dirty and do cool shit. And then like when he went on Rogan and just all his stories and just how he was talking, you could tell he's a legit guy. He's like really that guy. It was super cool. Banger of an interview, so worth listening to if you want to listen to something better than this. But Rogies is the man. But yeah, Mike Rowe, that dirty job shit was awesome. And shout out to everybody out there doing dirty jobs and shitty jobs. I mean, I do, I climb cell phone towers. Sometimes we got to do some crappy stuff. But like, there was this one time we had to wear like hazmat suits and spray bird shit off of all these antennas that were inside these silos. It was horrible. And it was like 120 degrees in there, and it was just like the chemicals we had to use were like, it was bad. It was bad. Probably took a couple days, maybe a year or two off my life. But what are you gonna do? But yeah, those types of jobs are not for the faint of heart. It sucks. So shout out to anybody doing that crazy type of shit, especially if like you're getting into like tight confined spaces. That is not for me. I'll climb from here to the moon and back, but I will not do none of that confined spaces stuff. That is sketchy. Like those freaking videos where those dudes go in those caves. It creeps me out. But yeah, shout out to Mike Rowe. Shout out to that episode. It was a banger. Yeah, I used to work in kitchens all the time too. I cooked for a long time, and like, if you got to clean when you're in a kitchen, like half of the process is cleaning everything up afterwards, and it's gross. It's so gross. Some of that shit is just nasty. Depending where you're working, I mean, it's worse. The worse if you go somewhere where that has real bad food, the grossness behind the scenes is going to be unspeakable. The smells in some of those corners, ugh. You know what I mean? Yeah. Anywho. Got me, well, I guess I'll push that back to the next thing, but the breaking news right now is, I don't know if you guys know, the CEO of United Healthcare got shot in the head in New York City, and this is crazy. Like, online, everybody's like, yeah, good, this, that, and it's like, that is a wild thing to say. I mean, obviously, people that are the CEOs of big corporations are probably not the best people in some aspects or others. I mean, I don't know. I can't judge people. I don't know. I don't judge people unless I know them personally. I didn't know this dude, but like, he probably seems like kind of a piece of shit. The whole healthcare system's kind of rigged and sucks. So, but with that being said, this dude should have went to jail. Like, these people should go to jail. Like, we shouldn't be like all these so there's lobbies, and one of the biggest is the correctional officer union, and they lobby for like marijuana laws and all these other laws to stay on the books, so that way people have to go to jail, so that way they have jobs. And it's like, instead of lobbying for that, why aren't you lobbying to get these fucking scumbags locked up? You'll have jobs for the rest of your life. Just start locking these fucking pieces of shit up. Like, that's what we need to be doing, not killing people. That's not the move. I don't think that really solves anything, but it's a scary thing when you think about it. You wouldn't want that to be you or anybody or whether they did something wrong or not. You wouldn't want that to be the way that shit goes down. So, but that's wild, man. Right in the middle of the street, But here's the thing: they got this kid. I'm pretty sure. I mean, the guy they got looks exactly like him, and they don't really fuck around these days. Like, they're not accidentally hunting this particular kid down. They're onto something, And then when you see him, he looks exactly like the picture. But good looking dude. Unfortunately, he's a good looking kid. So, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be all sorts of, who knows. I'm sure the memes are already going crazy right now. But yeah, this dude, like, he fucking is a wild boy. Just shoot that dude like that. And I wonder it's like, let's pretend his wife or something died because this dude, like, company denied her coverage. Is that a crime of passion? You know what I mean? Obviously it's not. It was way too premeditated. He had shit written on bullets and stuff. Like, that's wild premeditated. But depending on who died, like, is it a crime of passion? If my kid died, one of my sons dies, my daughter died because you fucking are negligent, it's a big fucking problem. That's gonna be a major problem, so I don't know what the scenario is, but now we're gonna find out. Now that we know who the kid is, obviously we're gonna get to the bottom of it. I think they took him alive. Obviously they got mugshots, so he's alive for now, so we'll see what the deal is. But yeah, good looking kid. That's the one thing that jumped out immediately. I was like, damn. Wild. It kind of reminds me of that movie star, I can't think of his name. It'll come to me, but yeah, that's crazy, just shooting somebody right in the dome piece, right in the streets. But speaking of blowing people's minds in the streets, street magic is like gotta be the coolest kind of magic. I was thinking about it. Like, magic gets a bad rap. Magic's pretty cool, but like, I think where magic gets a bad rap is when you go too big. When they go too big, you start like selling out theaters and wearing like weird costumes and shit. Now it's corny. Now you lost us. But when you do like some wicked cool, like mind blowing shit right in front of people, just boom boom, stick and move. I think those are the best. That's what keeps keeps the magic alive more than all that like big over the top like Vegas-y show type shit. But yeah, just like the little tricks. Like, I keep seeing this one on Instagram where you got the little kid in between the mom and the dad, and they take the straw and they put it in his cup or whatever. That one's hilarious. It blows kids' minds, But it's like, it's such a simple little thing that's more magic in that moment than anything that you're gonna see that's some huge over the top thing. I think the only person who kind of rides that line perfect is probably David Blaine, because like, even though he does some over the top shit, he's doing it like solo. Like, it's not like a big arena where, you know what I'm saying? He's like standing on an ice cube out in the fucking middle of a park by himself, and like, or whatever. It's just different. But yeah, the street magic is pretty cool. I still mess with it. I wish I could do some of those like cool tricks, like you break them out at a bar or something. I know a bunch of card tricks, but like I don't know. This kid did one night where you like take a Sharpie or something, and like he handed it to me, and I handed it back to him or something, and he wrote a circle on my hand somehow. I didn't do it, but I got a circle written on my hand, and I'm like, I'd like to know how to do that one. I don't know if it's only works when you're hammered, because like you can't tell that maybe he did it. I don't know. I have to find out. But I know there is a bunch of pages dedicated to just exploiting how those tricks are done too. But it's not easy. Even when they show you how to do it, it's like, okay, that's the trick, but it's still mad hard to do. Like, you got to practice that shit. All the finger ones, like my fingers are all fat and dumb and slow. Like they don't work good. Like from climbing and years of riding motorcycles and dirt bikes and bicycles, my hands are just not good. As far like they're strong, but they're not. They don't move very fast anymore. So as far as that sleight of hand shit, it's not gonna happen for me. Maybe carpal tunnel. That's more like it. But yeah, street magic is the shit. I was wondering, speaking of street magic and magic, do kids read these days? I mean, I know I still read, not as much, like, but I still read. I read a lot, mostly on my phone, like, but I still read actual like books, articles, like, just a lot of stuff to read. And I still read like actual books, and I try to get my kids to read. I'm pretty sure they make them read in school. I don't know, who knows what they're doing in schools these days, but yeah, like what's going on? Like nobody reads anymore, or maybe it's just like the people I'm around don't read. That could be the problem, but I feel like more people need to start reading again. Break out a book, like read. It's so like much better. I know it sounds stupid. It's like that cliche thing to say, but it really is way better than, watching a show or like pretty much anything. Or if like you have trouble going to bed at night, like just put a book next to your bed. Dude, you'll be sleeping fucking 2 pages in. And it's like, it doesn't even matter if you don't get through the book. It's like, that's your sleep aid right there. Boom, boom, boom. And at one point, maybe you'll catch a page or you'll catch something and you'll be like, oh shit. Now I'm in. You won't be able to put it down one night. You'll sit there for an hour and a half and you'll be like, all right, I'm in. Now you're reading again. You just need to catch the bug. That's what it is. Like maybe you'll go through 3, 4, 5 books before you find one where you're like, okay, boom. And then the bug hits and then boom, now you're off to the races. But fucking read, dude. Even or the newspaper or anything, just fucking read. Get that brain working. Do puzzles and shit too. Like little, I don't know, Sudoku, anything. Fucking crosswords. Just use your brain. Read. Do something. Video games. Fucking love video games. Right now, speaking of video games, it's the 30-year anniversary of PlayStation, which is wild. 30 years of PlayStation. But I've had every single one. I started my first gaming system that I had in the household that I was playing on. I don't think it was mine. The Nintendo. Then the Super Nintendo was mine all the way up. Super Nintendo, Sega, N64, Sega, Dreamcast, PlayStation 1, 2, 3. We had Xbox, the Xbox 360. Had PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 I have right now. PC gaming. I've been PC gaming forever. But either way, yeah. So PlayStation's 30 years since the PlayStation 1 dropped, it just seems wild. 30 freaking years. And everybody thought video games was like going to fall off, or when you get older, you'll be like, you're not going to play that stuff when you get older, this, that. Dude, I'm still just as addicted. I love playing video games. It's so much fun. So much fun. And there's all these studies that show like people who play video games are actually like smarter, have less stress, all this like are better problem solvers. There's like a bunch of different stuff. You can look it up, but it's actually good for you. So if you don't play video games, or maybe you like are curious and you've been looking for an excuse to play some video games, there you go. It's good for you. It's good for your brain. Get off the phone. It's better to sit there and play like where you're on the couch playing on a TV than it is to sit there on the fucking phone where the game's this close to your eyeballs, and like it's just terrible for your eyes. It's like it's just not good for you. So switch it up. And it's like when you're using a controller and playing on the TV, your eyes are on the TV and your hands on the controller. That's another part of why video games like are good for you. It helps with your hand-eye coordination and stuff. Excuse me. But anyway, there's a ton of reasons why it works or why it's good for you. But I still love the older games compared to some of the newer ones that come out. Because like a lot of the newer games are just built around like trying to sell you shit inside the game. And it's just like the games themselves aren't developed as much towards like the user having the greatest experience or like taking the most advantage of like the capabilities of the machine to give you the best user experience and the most immersive experience and the sickest graphics. It's like, nah, we're going to develop some corny shit and try to sell you fucking outfits like every 3 weeks. But the old school games still hold up. I've been playing Fight Night Champions. I love that shit. It's a boxing game. It's so much fun. I played on the PC on a PlayStation 3 emulator, and man, it's so much fun. It's like I can't help it. I want to play. I play Black Ops 6 still, still that just came out, and I think I skipped like 2 Call of Duties maybe only 1, but the Call of Duty, same thing. Like they just keep selling us the same game over and over again, and then selling you shit every week. They're trying to drop a $20 package on you, and it's just like, it's too much. It's too much. It's overwhelming. It's too much. They used to sell better games for cheaper. There wasn't all this extra. Once you bought the game, you own that game. If they came out with cool shit for it, it was part of the package. You just got the cool shit. It's like it wasn't like, oh, you want this cool shit? You want this cool shit? No, you can't have this cool shit. This guy's got it because he dropped $20. You don't got it. It's like, no, we're playing the same game. Or if there's a way to get it, it should just be through your ability to play the game, not by paying. So that pay to play shit, even though it's not like it does, a lot of the things you buy don't up your ability. It's all cosmetic. It's still corny to me. It's just like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. But either way, the old school games, if you're into it, you can, if you got a decent PC, look into emulators. You can download like a PlayStation 1, a PlayStation 2 emulator and run that shit on almost any modern PC. And then if you got a decent rig, you can run like a PC, PlayStation 3 emulator, which is sick. That's what I run. But you need a little bit higher end computer if you're going to run like the higher end emulators. But you could run like, you could play Sega, Genesis, Nintendo, Sony, PlayStation 1, like a bunch of different ones on pretty much almost any PC because they're pretty simple to run. And they're a lot of fun. It's dope. Introduce your kids to some older games that you used to play, or just go back and vibe out to your old games, or just jump on some games you always wanted to play that you never could because the shits were expensive. You can download pretty much any game for free. It's pretty sick. I'll just say allegedly because I don't know what the legal shit is on any of that. So allegedly. Speaking of that, dude, what's with old ass rappers dropping verses on Instagram? Like, I get it, whatever, I don't know, like if they're trying to promote some shit or what, but it's like it feels real embarrassing. When I see it, it just feels real cringy and embarrassing, and it's like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, you're dropping freestyles, like it's the mixtape era, but you're like doing it as a clip on Instagram, and it's just like, what is this? And it's like Benzino or some shit. It's just like, what the fuck are we doing, dude? Get your weird ass head the fuck out of here. But yeah, it's just wild. It's wild, like some of the shit that's going on Instagram. And speaking of which, I'll just skip right to it. because I'm talking about Instagram. I got a Britney Spears update. I'm pretty sure. So I got an update on the on BS. So there's a theory going around that while she was kind of on her conservatorship, she was getting drugged with lithium, I guess, which is like, I don't know. Apparently, if you're like, if you're a psycho or not psycho, if you have like mental issues or instabilities, it's one of the drugs they use to help to try to use it to fix it or like balance you out and shit or something, I guess. But like, it's also one of those things that if they overdo it, it can really like fuck you up. And apparently that's what they do. That's what they'll do to you once they get you on it and they have you under their thumb. They can just kind of control you based on how much they're feeding this shit to you, which is scary stuff. And and honestly, like once you think about it, it would explain some of like the wild behavior and just like the shit that just doesn't make sense at all. It's like, what is really going on here? So anyway, although there's some little haters in the comment section or in my ear every now and then that say they don't like the Britney updates, they can suck it. All right, we're never gonna give up on Britney. We got her back for life. We're gonna keep an eye on that broad because she might be crazy. She might be a crazy ass broad, but she's our crazy broad, so we gotta keep an eye on her. Jinx, shut up. You're not going outside. No. Yeah. So anyway, Britney's, she's a crazy, crazy woman. We all know that. She's a wild broad, and I wish her nothing but the best. But yeah, keep up. If you know something, drop a conspiracy on me. Let me know what you think's going on, because I don't have the time and energy to look into it too much. But some of these things just come across my wavelength, and I pick up on it. All right, see you. Anywho, you guys want to hear a crazy fact? This shit blows my mind. Like I like thinking about stuff like that. Just if not that it doesn't make sense, but like it really like makes you like wonder. And this one got me, and it's that like so like the amount of molecules in a cup of water, which would be like each individual water molecule. There's more molecules in a glass of water than there are stars in the observable universe. Hey. Heck no. Which is absolutely nuts. And not only that, it's not even close. So like obviously a lot of the stars shit is like an estimation, whereas the water molecules in a cup is a lot more accurate, but it's such a discrepancy that it's not like it's like close. But so it's the amount of stars in the observable universe is estimated to be around 1 septillion, which is like one with a fucking shitload of zeros after it. The amount of molecules in one glass of water is 84 septillion. So that means there's 84 times more molecules in a glass of water than there are stars in the observable universe. That's wild. Wild. If you've ever tripped out before, you know how weird stuff can get. And if you start to think about like, okay, so like every individual molecule could potentially be it could be, I don't know, it's just crazy. It's just crazy to just picture like it's a whole nother universe. It reminds me of like Horton Hears a Who, like that kind of vibe where it's like you just zoom down and it's just a whole nother world, but it's the same. And then you zoom down, there's a whole nother world, but it's the same. Fucking wild shit. But yeah, that one got me. That one kind of blew my mind a little bit. That it's like when I was a kid, I used to always think about this. If you take something and you cut it in half, now you got two halves, and then take one of the halves and cut that in half, and now you got 2 halves out of that half. Then you take one of those halves and cut that in half. Technically, no matter like how small you get, you could keep just cutting whatever you got left in half, and then whatever you'll have 2 halves, and then cut one of those in half, and then in half and half, and you can just keep going forever. And it might get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, but you could just keep going. Yeah, and that's what we're gonna do, baby. That's why I dropped another pod for your fucking ear hole, because we're gonna keep going. We ain't never gonna stop. Shout out William Montgomery. And on that note, this one's a wrap, baby. See y'all next week, or who knows, maybe tomorrow. I'm keeping you on your toes. Who the freak knows what I'm gonna do, yo? Now it'll be next week. Love y'all. Peace.